Hi, I'm Paula Deen, and I want you to join me in my kitchen today for a no-sweat, scrumptious Thanksgiving feast from top to bottom. First, I want to take you on a turkey tour from buy-in to deep frying, and then it's back to the stove to find out the secret to my success when it comes to making the quickest cornbread stuffing ever and the gooeyest, chewiest pumpkin gooey butter cake that this good old Southern girl knows how to make. And last but not least, some shortcut cranberry flavored tips. So y'all throw on your apron, roll up your sleeves, and come on in. It's time to give thanks. I started cooking when I was 18 years old as a new bride. I'm very lucky because I came from a family of wonderful Southern cooks. And at 42 years old, I was faced with having to support myself and my two sons. So I turned to my first love, which is cooking. And so I started cooking for a living. I think food is such a big part of family, and I hope that y'all can watch me and learn to have fun with yours while building wonderful memories around the food that you're preparing. I'm so excited, y'all. Thanksgiving is finally here, a holiday that I look so forward to because it's really all about food, family, and love and just being together. But before we can start this meal, I want to take y'all to a very, very special spot where I found the most handsome of birds. All right, guys, I'm here for my Thanksgiving turkey today. I think I know what I want. I think that I'm going to serve a deep fried turkey, but I just want to know, what my options are.
This is domestic turkey. This is the turkeys usually buy in the stores, the butterball, the big fat things. These we grow here, though, they're a lot different. They're younger, they're juicy.
Special diet.
A lot of meat. They're all outside running around.
Free range turkeys.
Oh yeah, everything we grow here is free range.
Free range, okay.
Then you've got your wild turkeys.
What's the difference between this wild turkey here and the domesticated turkey?
More flavor.
Which one?
In the wild turkey. Less meat, but more flavor.
Really?
And unless you try one, you'll never know what you're missing in turkey flavor.
How about if I just take the domesticated turkey?
Good choice.
You can't go wrong. And that ought to feed your 15 people.
And we're just going to have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. Thanks to y'all and your birds. Hey, Gertie. How you doing, baby? You been waiting on me? I got the best turkey. You're not going to believe how beautiful this bird is. This time of year is just my favorite time of the year. I just love the pumpkins and the flowers, and there's just the smell of autumn in the air. And looking at these flowers and these pumpkins reminds me of something. At the end of the show today, I'm going to show you a quick little tip with the flowers and the pumpkins. Come on, Gertie. Let's go. Well, we've gotten our turkeys taken care of. They're all settled and waiting to be cooked. But before we get started with those, I'm going to go ahead and start on our dessert, which is called Gooey butter cake. And you're going to love this recipe. It's so easy and simple to make. And once you taste it, you'll never, ever want pumpkin pie again. We're going to simply start with a yellow cake mix. And you can just use the brand of your choice, along with 1 stick of melted butter. And to that, we're going to add 1 egg. Now, you can't hardly get much simpler than that. And this is going to be our crust. And we're going to just beat this until all the cake is mixed and moist. All right, we're ready now. So we're going to just ease that up and kind of spin that off of our beaters. As you can see, our crust to our gooey butter cake is very, very thick. That's why I normally just stick it in a mixer and get done with it. Now all we're going to do at this point is take our crust and lay it into our greased prepared pan. And to make the spreading of my base a little easier, I'm just going to rub my hands in the pot that I had the butter in, and I'm just going to grease them up a little bit. When I started making these wonderful little gooeys, I just used a very basic recipe of cake mix and eggs and cream cheese. But after a while, I got bored making them that way, so I got into the kitchen and I just played around and tested, and I bet you at this point, we probably make 50 different gooey butter cakes. Now we're going to move to our cream cheese filling, and I'm not even going to bother washing this mixer. we can use it just like it is. You can make your gooeys the morning of or the day before. I really prefer a fresh gooey that was just out of the oven the day of Thanksgiving. And you don't even have to refrigerate these, which is even nicer. We're gonna start with our cream cheese and our powdered sugar. And we're just gonna beat these two things together until they're fluffy. It really is so simple. And then we're gonna slowly add another stick of butter. And remember, this is called gooey butter cakes. So we're gonna add 3 eggs to the center. We're gonna add about a teaspoon of vanilla flavoring. We're getting there. At this point now, we are at our original gooey butter cake recipe. Now is when we're gonna make our changes. Today, because it's Thanksgiving, we're gonna make pumpkin. And I'm using just a regular canned pumpkin. And we're gonna just fold this into our cream cheese. And because this doesn't have any of your flavorings, I'm gonna add a little ground cinnamon and a little nutmeg. Now I go lighter on the nutmeg than I do the cinnamon because it's really a potent seasoning. And so at this point, this is when you change your flavorings. If you wanted to do blueberry or if you wanted to do peanut butter, if you wanted to do cherry, peaches, whatever you want to do. But as I told you, this pumpkin is just perfect for Thanksgiving. And look how wonderful. See, you getting your pumpkin-y color now. So all we do now at this point is pour it onto our crust. In about 45 minutes, we're going to have the most wonderful pumpkin dessert you've ever put in your mouth. And we're ready to go into the oven. Our cooking time is up now on our gooey butter cakes, and they should be ready. And they are. They look just perfect. Now, normally I would let these cool for about 20 or 30 minutes, but I can't stand it. I'm going to go ahead and cut them now because I want y'all to see them. I'm going to just slice this, and I love to eat, and I can't eat a real big piece. So cut them to suit your preference. And these down here are a little bit bigger, so we'll give this end to the men. And I tell y'all, before I put them on the platter, I don't think anybody will know if I just sneak one real quick like. So I've just got to taste it because it's been a while since I've had the pumpkin. But look, look, look at that beautiful, beautiful, warm, gooey pumpkin. And I always top mine with a little fresh, sweetened whipped cream. And if you like, when you go to serve it, you can also just sprinkle it with a little cinnamon. Just dust your plate. I don't think anybody will notice if one little tiny piece is missing. It really is Thanksgiving. Stay tuned because we're going to make the most wonderful Southern cornbread stuffing you ever put in your mouth.
I so hope y'all are enjoying the show. And if you do, be sure to click like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you'll never miss a video. And we'll be right back after the break.
One of the best parts of our Thanksgiving meal today is going to be our Southern cornbread dressing. And I've got my stock pot going here, and it's filled with the giblets from our turkey and good fatty rich pieces of the chicken like the back and the wing. And I've got this going and it's smelling and looking so good, but just to make sure that it's good and rich, I'm going to add a little granulated chicken bouillon. But it's looking and smelling wonderful. And I'm going to add a little bit of pepper and a little bit of salt. Now, if you use very much of your chicken bouillon, you'll just want to be careful with your salt because it is just almost nothing but pure salt itself. And while that's cooking, we're going to put together our actual cornbread. I'm going to start by chopping a little celery, and always use the green leafy part to your celery. It's so pretty flowing throughout your dressing. And we're going to saute this in a stick of butter, always a stick of butter, 2 if you need it. You know, I always love cooking Thanksgiving. I'll never forget the very first one that I cooked. I was 23 years old and it was 1970, and I found myself without a mother to cook my meal for me. So I was responsible for doing that. And I'll never forget the day before Thanksgiving, I stayed on the phone all day long with my Aunt Peggy. She helped me through my whole entire meal. So I'll never forget Uncle George saying, "Damn it, get off the phone with her, I'm not gonna get my meal." Now we're just gonna let this kind of saute. We don't wanna brown it. While that's sauteing, we're gonna move on to actually putting the bread part of our dressing together. And I've got my dried out toast. This is just plain old white bread. And I'm just gonna crumble it up. But this is a fun dish to make. You can work out all your frustrations if you have any. And then we're gonna add a sleeve of saltine crackers. And these saltines just give your dressing such a nice little punch. This is a trick that my grandmother Paula taught me. Now this is just a simple cornbread recipe here. And we're just gonna crumble that up in there. And you can see our celery and our onions are coming along nicely. And while those are going, we're gonna go ahead and beat up our eggs, because our eggs are gonna make our dressing bind together, and it's gonna fluff it up and just make it so light and delicious. All right, we're ready here, I think, with our celery and our onions. So we're gonna just dump this into our bowl. When you start doing this, make sure you have a nice large bowl, because before you know it, you've added all your ingredients in there. Your ingredients go from here to here very quickly. So as you can see, I've kind of misjudged my pot size. So I'm just gonna mix this up and pour it into a larger pot. I hate to give up this beautiful bowl. It's one of my favorites, but we'll have to pull it out and use it another time. Now we've got plenty of room, because we're gonna be adding a good bit of that wonderful rich stock now. Just fill this dressing straight from the stock pot. All right, we're gonna stop now and stir this. It's almost time for this baby to go in the oven. That's almost perfect right there. And now I'm going to add just a little sage, and then we're gonna put a little poultry seasoning, just to make sure it's got enough kick, and a little bit more black pepper. I really, really like pepper in my dressing. And last but not least, a very important ingredient, and that's our eggs. If you're gonna make this up ahead of time, be very, very careful, because this is one of those dishes that can, if it's not refrigerated properly, it can really sour on you. So we're ready to go ahead and transfer this now into our casserole dish. Doesn't that look so, so good? All right, this is ready to go into the oven. Look, perfect Southern cornbread dressing. I think I'm gonna sneak a taste out of here, and I'm actually gonna go from kind of underneath so nobody will know that the cook's been in it. Aunt Peggy, you'd be proud. And y'all hang around, because the best part of the meal is coming up. Deep fried turkey.
I hope y'all are enjoying the show, and I want to hear from you. Tell me what recipes or videos you'd like to see me make by just leaving a short comment below. Now, let's get back to the show, y'all.
At last, I'm fixing to spend a little time now with our guest of honor, Mr. Tom Turkey. We're gonna start with a clean bird. Now, he's been washed and cleaned, and we've removed all the giblets. And don't forget to check the neck. I never will forget, one of my friends fixed their first Thanksgiving meal, and she was so proud of her turkey. It was so beautiful. Took it to the table, went to slice it, and out came all these raw giblets in a paper bag. And we've teased her unmercifully about that. So make sure you watch for the giblets. Now we're just gonna oil him down, and then we're gonna cover him in salt, black pepper, and garlic powder. And you can do this part actually early in the day and let him sit around and be soaking up all those seasonings. And then we're gonna turn him over and give him a very, very nice back rub. Get him ready for that wonderful hot peanut oil. How you like that massage, Mr. Turkey? We're gonna get him good back here in his backside. And now we're gonna finish up with just a rotisserie chicken. And this has got your paprika and some more spices in it. And this is going to give him that nice brown color. And just rub him good all over, under his arm. We use peanut oil at the restaurant. We don't fry anything in anything else but peanut oil. And I tell you, it's a little bit more expensive than your regular oils, but it gives things a flavor that you wouldn't believe. We've got him rubbed down good now. The last spot we're going is inside. He's gonna come out so beautiful and brown. And if you've never had fried turkey before, I just can't tell you how wonderful it is. It's like having one great big piece of fried chicken, and that skin gets brown and crisp and succulent. And when you cut into your bird, all the juices are trapped inside from that crispy skin, and they just come rolling out, and you're just gonna be so pleased with your Thanksgiving meal. All right, we're gonna pick this baby up, and we're gonna just drop him into our basket. Once you've fried a turkey, you're gonna find it to be so much easier and so much better than an oven turkey. Your oven turkeys can have a tendency to dry out on you, plus they take longer, and you can't get any more simpler than this. We're gonna cook this turkey for 3 minutes a pound. We have a 13-pound turkey. That's 39 minutes. And always, no matter what size turkey you've got, always add an extra 5 minutes after you've completed your 3 minutes a pound. And you can see he's down there sealing himself up in that hot peanut oil, and he's just gonna be so good if you're not gonna believe it. In just 44 short minutes, we've got the most delectable looking turkey you've ever seen. He's brown to perfection. His skin is already starting to crisp up now that we've taken him out of the oil. And we'll let him sit there for a few minutes and let the oil drain out of him good. Then we're gonna take him out and put him on a platter, and it's gonna be time to eat. So when we come back, I'm gonna have a couple of more quick Thanksgiving tips for you, and then I'm calling my family to dinner.
I so hope y'all are enjoying the show. And if you do, be sure to click like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you'll never miss a video. And we'll be right back after the break.
Doesn't our table look beautiful today? I'm just before I call my family, and I've got a few last things to do. And one of these things that I want to share with you is a very, very easy cranberry sauce that looks like you've gone to a lot of trouble and actually hadn't. I'm going to use just a whole berried, jellied cranberry sauce. And now I'm adding just mandarin oranges. And then I'm gonna toss in some nuts. Now I like walnuts, but you can use pecans or almonds, any of your favorite nuts. But the bonus on this cranberry sauce is it tastes as good as it looks. And I'll show you another trick that I did today. My table was so full that I didn't have room for a big arrangement. So I took some little bitty pumpkins and trimmed the bottoms so that they would sit flat. And I went out into my garden and I just picked a few wildflowers. And all you have to do is stick your flowers in there, and you've got instant flower arrangements. And the last tip I want to share with you today when frying your turkeys, a great way to measure how much oil you're going to need is by placing your turkey into your deep fryer and covering him with water. Then lift your turkey out, and the line that the water's at lets you know how much oil you're going to need. It's very important that you have enough, and it's also very important that you don't have too much, because too much could really cause a grease fire. Look how beautiful this turkey turned out. I can't hardly wait for my family to eat it. I'm going to start carving it. And look at that gorgeous leg. And if my children came to the table and couldn't find a leg, they would be real mad with me. So I'm not going to cut him. I'm just going to disjoint him and put him on the platter and maybe taste him a little bit. Who's so wonderful. I can't hardly wait for y'all to try the fried turkey. And I'm going to take him like this, and then I'm going to slice him just like this. And he's so moist, and he's still so warm. When you try it, you're not going to believe how easy and simple but delicious this turkey is. Usually white meat can be dry, but not on the fried turkey. You can see the moistness of the white meat. He's so scrumptious. Just look at everything I've got on our table. I've got our cornbread stuffing and our fancy green beans, pumpkin gooey butter cakes for dessert, tangy cranberry sauce, and delicious mashed potatoes. But more important, the guest of honor, this fabulous fried turkey. You know, I've had such a wonderful time with y'all today. I appreciate you joining me for my Thanksgiving dinner. And until next time, America, best dishes from my Thanksgiving table to yours.
Hey y'all, it's Paula Deen. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell to be alerted when I post a video. Love and best dishes, y'all.